Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, everybody.
Yeah, and I hope you're staying. Well, I was going to say warm, but I know lots of people are in warm places. It's cold here.
Yeah, it's cold here too. But guess what? We got some heat for you.
Mhm.
Today, we want to go over some fun facts. And I'm not going to tell you what fun facts. You're just going to have to stay tuned.
Right? So we're going to do a little more crypto today. And I think that this is going to be something that some people don't know.
Right.
I mean, if you're in the crypto space, you probably know, or you think you know, but maybe you don't know.
Right.
You're like,
If
okay,
you know, you know.
tell us, tell us what you're talking about. Tell us what you're talking about. I think we talked about a little bit about yesterday about I said there's 50 zillion ways to make money, which is a total exaggeration, right? I don't know what it is a zillion, but
Right.
there's a lot of ways to make money in cryptocurrency. A lot of people just think it's, oh, I buy it and then I sell it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that, and people think that about stocks too, which that's not true about stocks either.
Right.
But I think what we want to talk about is how to earn, or maybe not the specifics, but like that there's really nice APYs available on all kinds of different cryptocurrencies.
Right. I'm looking at like 7 now. So did you guys do your homework? I gave you homework the other day. Did you take a look at inflation and like poke around down that rabbit hole to see what that looks like? I'm very happy that some news came out earlier this week that or late last week, one of them, that the rate of inflation is actually lower than what the projection was, but the projection was extremely high. The projection was 10.4%, and it's lower than that. So that's good for my wallet because in speaking about APYs, some of the cryptocurrencies that I have are above the rate of inflation. And remember, we talked about the fact that if your money's in a bank account, they're giving you that 0.2%, 0.1% APY on a high yield savings account. Like they don't even really give you good rates on $1,000 or less accounts, right? So if your money that you have is ahead of inflation, then you're actually keeping your spending power, and that's good for you. You're making money. No matter what the dollar is doing, you're making some money, right? And some of the APYs that we have in these cryptocurrencies are really nice because the cryptocurrencies themselves have very good use case. They're solving real world problems. Even in some of the coins that we call like stable coins, they stay at one level price. You're even able to get a better APY on one of those than what you would get by putting your money in the bank. And should we give them that one? I'll give them that one. Let them do a little bit of research.
Yeah, let's talk about stable coins, because I think that if you're new to crypto, or you're not, or you're even a little bit scared of crypto, just putting your money into a stable coin in one of the, I don't want to, give you a recommendation like specifically, but we can tell you a few places, right? It means that the stable coin just means that it's pegged one for the US dollar. So if you're like, well, okay, if I put my money in this other cryptocurrency, like let's just say it was Bitcoin. Okay. And that was paying an APY. What if Bitcoin drops? The APY might not matter to you because you still lost more money than the APY, but a stable coin, it's pegged one for the US dollar. So it's going to stay around $1, maybe 98 cents, $1 or whatever. But Christy's going to share with you some of the APYs that you can get on stable coins.
Yep. So there are a few different stable coins that we use. One that gives you an APY inside of a wallet that gives you access to your private keys, which gives you complete ownership of your cryptocurrency, is a coin called DAI. It's DAI. And the APY on that one is 3.26%. So if you're putting your money into a savings account and it's giving you 0.2, 0.3%, you can put it into essentially your own version of a savings account, right? Put it into a wallet where you have access to and ownership of your cryptocurrency, and you'll be setting it there. So if the market is going crazy, looking like an EKG machine, you put, let's say, because we like round numbers, let's say you put $100 in the account. Now you're going to have that $100 stay the same and grow by 3.26%, as opposed to putting it to a bank where You put it in the bank and it stays at $100 and grows by 0.1, 0.2%, right? So this is what we're talking about when we talk about safe places to put your money in cryptocurrency. There's no risk involved, with the exception of the fact that you must have pen and paper when you are getting involved with cryptocurrency, because it's very important for you to write down your passwords and write down your phrases and things like that pop up when you make these wallets. But that's the only risk that I see for this one, because it's not used for anything except for storing crypto money.
Right.
It's nice.
Another place that you can get some pretty good APY is crypto.com on your stable coin. So if you, let's say you're like, well, like me, it's like, it's really important to me that we have emergency funds. And well, what do you need for an emergency fund? Well, you need to have instant access to the money. That's why it's called an emergency fund.
Yep.
Right. So you may want to use something like crypto.com app. Now I don't store a ton of money there because for that emergency fund, I'm going to admit that I keep it on my phone and there's not very much in there. Okay.
Right.
Not very much. So all you hackers are not going to get much money out of me on my phone, but I also have a tablet that stays at home and never leaves the house that also you could put your crypto.com app on as well. But for the stable coins that they have, like USDC, for example, they have several stable coins. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you want to have instant access to your money, you can still earn 6% a year. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. I have. So yeah, it's 6%. If you're willing to lock your money up for a month, it's 8%. If you're willing to lock it up for 3 months, it's 10%, right? So even at wanting to have instant access, and you're like, well, what if I'm only keeping $500,000? Wouldn't you still want to earn another $6 for the year instead of less than $1 for the year, or right, whatever in your bank account? Just, you guys gotta start thinking in pennies and in seconds when it comes to your time and your money, right? So it just makes sense to me and what's funny is traditionally investors are extremely happy getting an annual percentage rate of 7% on their money. And to us, that's just kind of a low percentage that we get on our stable coins.
Right.
Low risk. It's like a low risk thing. 6-7% on the crypto.com at 6 to 10%, whatever, if you're willing to lock it up for 3 months. So, maybe you have, that if you listen to Dave Ramsey, for example, maybe you have that $1,000 like immediate emergency fund, and then you have another 6 months of money set aside in cash, in US dollar, to use if you had like a longer term emergency. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you'd be okay putting that on your tablet on a crypto.com app and go ahead and lock it up for a 1 month or 3 months to get the higher APY, because you don't need to pull the whole thing out at once if there was a longer term emergency. So right, these are simple things. This is like the low risk stuff, as long as you know how to do the security and store it correctly.
Yep. And that's what we're saying. So for entrepreneurs, we talked about it yesterday, there's no 401k plan with entrepreneurship. So when you have that income coming in, maybe like one of the things that you would want to do, as opposed to putting it into a traditional bank that's giving you the lower percentage, is maybe put it into something that you have control of, that you're learning about, that you're comfortable with, where you're going to earn more than what it would do in a traditional bank. And Christy was talking about crypto.com. Here's the little card. So I can put my crypto on here, mm-hmm, and the app is on my phone, and it's a Visa logo. I can swipe it if something comes up. So we're not saying like put it somewhere and you have to go through 50 different things to get it back. No, it's just as simple as like my little Huntington card, right? So if I was to go to the bank or go somewhere, I swipe the Huntington card, swipe the crypto.com card, same thing. So you're still going to have access to it, but you're going to get a better yield than what you would do in a traditional bank. That alone is a really good reason to get involved, or at least get a good understanding of some of the basics of cryptocurrency. The reason why it's such a big deal is because people are able to separate themselves from their financial institutions if that's what they're choosing to do, because money management is what you pay a bank for, right? But when you learn how to manage your money on your own, you actually save a little bit of money. You're cutting out the middleman. And that gain that you get just from saving that money is important to a lot of people, especially those of us that are entrepreneurs. Like and especially in the beginning of your journey, you're trying to save as many pennies as possible to get your business off the ground. Now imagine saving a couple of your pennies that are turning into investments that are helping you to get your business off the ground, right?
Yeah, and as we talk about these APYs, because these are the lower APYs, okay,
Right.
and just
We're being
stable
conservative.
coins, pegged to the US dollar, still in the crypto space, but everything stays around $1. Safe, much, not I want to say super duper safe, but much safer investments, right? But you know what? You might be thinking, well, how can cryptocurrencies pay these APYs? And we're going to talk about some things that pay a lot more than that. But how can they do that? Why, if the bank could do it, why wouldn't they? The bank can, but they don't.
Exactly.
All right. So we've all been brainwashed to think that that's all we can make on our money at the bank. The bank uses your money to make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. And then they pay you a tiny less than 1%, for example, on your savings account, right? Even if you have a higher yielding checking account, it's still nothing compared to what we earn on APY in cryptocurrency. It's
like
funny because
0.6% on a high yield account. My bank said 0.4% was the max. I'm like,
yeah, and our bank has a 7% for the first $500. Ooh, yeah, that's it.
wow. So
Yeah.
just imagine what your money would look like if you understood inflation earlier in life, if you understood investments earlier in life, and you had an idea of how to hedge your money against inflation. Like, if I had known about this when I first got my 401k, I got my 401k maybe in 2010, okay? Like late in life, in my working life, right? But imagine if you had this information earlier. Imagine having this information and now having a business that's off the ground where you can invest more to catch up, right? At the end of the day, we want to make sure that if you are inside of entrepreneurship, if you're one of our followers, our subscribers, the people in our audience that we're talking to, because you're interested in growing your money, growing your business, and just having a better life, we want to make sure that you have the information that you need. And financial information, having the financial knowledge that you need to grow your money, to safely and securely maintain your money, store your money, is extremely important. It's a lot of stuff that I'm learning now that I wish I had known much sooner. Because I would have, if you know better, you do better, right? I didn't know better.
And we've had our money in, a coin called Tezos, which took a nice little jump yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, every 3 days, like clockwork, we've got that staked, and there's several places that you can stake it. Basically, staking just means you're agreeing to hold the coin, right? And not spend it. And then they pay you. And every 3 days, like clockwork, deposit. And then, when was that? Was it last year where you were like, why are we holding Tezos? Why don't we move to DOT? What's that?
We did.
Or Kusama?
DOT and Kusama, because it was December and January.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I was buying DOT. It was like $5 a coin when I was buying it. So I moved a lot of my Tezos over to it because I was like, DOT was growing faster than Tez was, and Tez still gives you the APY. So I'm like, I'll leave a tiny bit in there and maybe reinvest later. But for now, let's move the money over to something that has the bigger yield because of the market movement. So yeah.
And I think, it's not forever, but that APY on those coins is at 12%.
Yes. Right.
And it's paying us in the coins, and the coins continue to go up. And and if you're really a long-term holder, like some of us are, just getting more coins is amazing.
Yeah. What DOT right now, let me see if it's in my wallet.
And we picked up DOT at like $5.
Yeah, DOT right now is $27.79 per coin. And we've been grabbing it since it was $5.
Yep. and we've been earning 12% APY, and it's been paying us. That APY is paid in dot.
Yep.
So it's like we're getting paid in dot, and the coin goes up, and then we're getting paid in dot, and it goes up, and it compounds, and it's just these are some of the. This is just a few little things. I mean, we've got other projects where we're earning crazy APYs, and I just want to say that they're crazy APYs.
Yeah. They're
It's a
riskier plays, but
right. I would say it's a risk reward thing,
yeah.
so it's not stuff that, you'd put the whole house into.
And that's the thing, like for people who are investing, when you initially start investing, you don't throw the whole farm in there. You do a little bit of research, you get your feet wet, you get comfortable with the process, right, of actually maneuvering and moving your money around. Mm-hmm. And then you start to make sure that you have a diversified portfolio where all of your funds are not in one specific type of investment or one investment. So that's something that we've learned as well, like how to and where to and how to do the research. So it's very beneficial. Like my son is learning this. My son's 14 and he's learning the same thing I'm learning. I always tell people, I want my son to learn the things about money that I wish I had known before I had money. Like I want him to learn early. So if he has the mistakes, at least he'll also have the information to fix it.
Right.
Because, we're all hard-headed, but.
Well, yeah. And not every investment works out. You have to be able to, teach your kids and yourself how to deal with that. Because I've been trying this for, whatever it is, whether it's a business or anything for a year and it didn't work out. So I quit. You think that doesn't happen to all successful people? You think you're special? That's what Butterfly Venture's like. You think you're special?
Right.
It worked for everybody else, but not for you. No, these things happen. Like every investment we get involved with isn't like going to the moon. We do pretty well though.
Right. We are still here because it don't make sense to leave.
Right, exactly. But you start to learn, like Christy said, to diversify, even though we're talking about APY. You guys saw the video we put on the Facebook page yesterday where we push a button every day. That was an investment of money out of our pocket.
Yep.
And then I call it a 2-second, maybe 5-second investment of my time every day because yes, it needs to run for 30 minutes, but I don't have to sit here in front of it. I just got to log in and push the button. Right. And now that generates income every day forever.
And like what we're doing, we made a small investment into a cryptocurrency. That cryptocurrency has significantly grown. And we've taken the growth from that initial investment and put it into this investment for it to grow again. So if you I was running the numbers from when I first started buying, so the coin that we use was ETH. It was at $230 a coin. It's over $4,000 now. So we've taken that money to put into another place. So even if, and it's very unlikely, but even if the new investment was to not work, we would still be up over our initial investment. Right. And that's one of the things that we try to teach people to get into. The reason why we do research as much as we do is so that we can make the likelihood of one of our investments tanking extremely low. Mm-hmm. We always talk about the use case, the partnerships, the real world problem that this specific cryptocurrency solves, right? The just partnerships and people, the minds behind the creation of it and the maintenance of it, right? So those are a lot of things that we take into consideration to reduce the risk of our investments. But we learned that because we, like a lot of other successful people, have chosen to pay for the knowledge that we need to speed up that learning curve and make sure that we're on the right side of money.
And I think we've talked about this a lot on this channel about paying for education and paying for information to speed up the learning curve, because for me, money is replenishable, time is not.
Right.
So if I can hack the time that it takes to learn something with some money, I'm going to do it every single time. Right. And, when I first started, I wouldn't have been able to, let's say, we know, I have a mentor and I've spent a lot of money over there. We have a ton of mentors. It's just, we have a mentor for this and a mentor for this one thing. Like we try to learn from the experts in the field. Right. But in the beginning, You might just have to start with, some education that's only a few $100s, right? And then over time, you should make it a goal to be able to afford to attend a $3,000 Tony Robbins event for the weekend.
Yep.
Like that should be a goal. It's like, oh, I can't afford that. Wrong question. It's not, I can't afford, it's a statement. The question is, how can I afford it?
Exactly. Like, what do I need to do to get the work done to bring in the income so that I can go do the thing I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, start asking yourself, like, it's like every time we think bigger, the next thought cannot be, but it must be how.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Instead of, but I can't afford it. It should be, how can I get the money that I need to do this thing?
You can always tell, like when we talk about the interview process with bringing in business associates, when people that come through the interview process are a little short on time or funds, you can tell who the right people are, not a judgment on character. Someone's character, when I say the right people, I just mean people who are ready, willing, and able. So they're ready, willing, but not quite able. They say, how can I figure this out? Can you help me brainstorm?
Yep.
It's not, I don't have the money, I don't have the time. It's, I got to do this. And I might not be able to do it right today, but how can I get this done? Right. And people get very creative. I get very creative when it comes to business stuff too. Some people partner up and split the cost of things. Right. I mean, we've talked about the 10 guys who pooled their money and bought a fast food chicken place. One of them by themselves could not afford, I think it was a Popeyes. I was trying to remember what it was.
Now I want chicken.
This is my daughter texted me. I just want to make sure it wasn't an emergency. There's only like a couple people that are allowed to interrupt me, and children and husband is that. And probably Chrissy, because she's texting me. It's not like something dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's usually a question or something I can't quite figure out.
Right. But yeah, going back to talking about when it comes to investing and things like that, time and money are the two things. So
yep,
you've just got to figure those two things out. And then if you don't have those resources that you need for that particular thing, and it makes sense to you, it's how can I make this happen?
Yep. And it's like, that's the biggest takeaway for me for mentorship has been like, I'm glad that I'm in a position where mentorship is a thing that is accessible to me. Like the partnership, the circle that we've grown and created and cultivated and become a part of as a result of just the knowledge that we've seeked and started to gain, just being in those conversations, our masterminds. Like for me, the power of the mastermind is a very real thing, because cryptocurrency is one of those things where you couldn't possibly be an expert at absolutely every facet of it, because it does a lot. So being in a space, in a community where we have somebody who really loves NFTs, right? Those digital downloadable collector's items. They really love those. So they're
tongue
good
twister.
At it. Right. Digital downloadable collector's items, right? So we have a person in our community who specializes in that knowledge, like helps us all day, every day with that stuff. We have a guy on the team that helps us with getting involved in new cryptocurrency projects that are giving us something called airdrops, right? Where as a result of getting involved in a project, the creators of the project say, for being an early adopter, here's a reward, right? And
free
we
money.
have somebody, right?
Free money.
Exactly. We love that. And we have somebody on our team that specializes in that. We have people on the team who specialize, like I am the gamer for cryptocurrency on the team. Like that's the thing that I love, right? So just being involved in a community like that has been so beneficial, because I never feel like I have to learn everything for certain stuff. I just have to know who to ask.
Right.
And that alone speeds up your learning curve so much. And for me, the biggest thing about personal development has been learning to ask questions. Like learning to say, I don't know, can you help me? Has been like the biggest thing for me. And it's been the most beneficial too. So
that's the best thing for me that's ever come out of home business. The best thing ever. from day one for me has been the personal development, and we've had just amazing people for the last 20 years that we've worked with, and this the contacts and the just the amazing team members that you still, like people that I've worked with for years, and they're like family, right?
Right.
And even if we're not even together in the business anymore, who are still family, still call and check in,
Yep.
see how's it going, and how's everybody doing, and get invitations to their kids' weddings and things like that.
Yep.
But the personal development for me has been huge, because like when I first got involved in this industry, I didn't even want to be a greeter on conference lines, because we didn't have Zoom back in my day. And I actually miss those days. I prefer conferences over these Zooms any day of the week. So the funny thing is though, it's like, could you come on and greet on the call? No. Oh, it's like, and all you have to do is like say, hey, welcome to the call. Where are you calling in from? Right. And then like, oh, how's the weather down there? And just keep it light because we like to have it open for 10 or 15 minutes for people to chat. And
Mhm.
I'm like, nah, I can't, I'm not doing that. Like, nope. Right. It's like,
Yeah.
that was 20 years ago. Right. And so you start to realize that being in a community also pushes you to be better and move out of your
Mhm.
comfort zone. Yep.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I like though, is because if, like I said, like I'm the gaming person, if somebody has a question that I don't know the answer to, I'm like, okay, really quick, let me go find out because I don't know, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And people actually appreciate the fact that you say you don't know, but you'll find out. That's honestly a pet peeve of mine, for somebody to just say that they don't know. I'm cool if you don't know, but do you want to know? You
Right.
want to help me help you? Because that's the thing, especially if I'm reaching out for help. It's like I Google stuff more than Google does,
If you
you know?
don't know something and you just say, I don't know, but I'll find out for you.
Exactly. Like that's the pet peeve is just when people don't try, you know? Like it's cool to not know. I don't know a lot of stuff. I Google stuff very quickly.
And my pet peeve, if I know it's not great to talk about pet peeves, it goes along the similar lines, is where sponsors think if you're bringing somebody into the business, you think you always have to have somebody with you from the upline because you don't know stuff. It's okay to say to your new member, I don't know, but I will find out for you.
Yep.
I usually just tell people I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me get back with you. Right.
Exactly.
Because if which is a much more positive way to say you don't know.
Yep.
Not 100% sure. And of course, I want to be 100% sure. And sometimes I am like 90% sure, but I'm not 100%. So I'll go find
Right.
out.
But you
Right.
want to check.
Right.
Yep.
But that's all it takes. And, it's okay to say that and be confident. Always have to have, somebody on the line to answer something. Cause you know what? You might call Christy and I, and we don't know either. So we're going to have to be like, we're not 100% sure that we'll get back with you.
Right.
So, right. Yeah.
I think people are surprised when we don't know stuff though.
Yeah.
I'm like, for everything that we do with the little magic boxes that we have, our little treasure boxes that we have in our window, I'm like, have you Googled it, or did you ask Christy, or did you watch the videos in the back office? Those are usually my go-to answers. Like
Our little treasure boxes, we have the best training series on how everything works. Thanks to a wonderful man named Eric Z and his team. They do beautiful videos, and all you got to do if you're in our treasure box business
right.
is go in there and find it. And then if it's not in there, then talk to us. But you know what? The thing is that 99% of the questions you get from the field are the same questions over and
Yep.
over again. So that's why you're usually find stuff. That is like the best FAQ area I've actually seen in most companies that I've ever been in. So, it's look around, poke around. Same
Right. Do
thing,
your
like
research.
say
Like,
people, oh, I got an email from so-and-so. Could you write an email for me to send back to that person? I don't know how to answer it. And if you guys are on who've worked with me, you know what I'm going to say. Why don't you give it a shot? Send me a copy of it. I'll clean it up, and then you can send it out to your prospect. Why? Because I'm not going to write your stuff for you. But if you write it, you're going to learn something. And yes, I'm going to probably fix it. Right. But you can't expect other people to do all of your homework for you. At the
Right.
same time, I mean, other people are part of doing your research, asking questions and things
But
like
it's
that.
not the first part. Okay, we are not the first part of doing your research. Now, like as far as like the cryptocurrency space goes, if you have questions, go ahead and ask us. We'll show you. We're more than happy to show you what it is that we do, where we get our education from, right? And like let you have some behind the scenes looks into the academy and what we've done, right? But like don't be afraid to ask questions, especially when it comes to your finances. It's extremely important for you to know.
And
Like,
if you've got a team building in a network marketing company, the best thing you can do is have financial education available to them as well,
yep,
right? And so that's why we always have one. Well, we actually have a couple of things that actually create both education and the stuff we're talking about, growing your money, resources to grow your money, on top of what we do with our network marketing business. Just so happens that some of our network marketing businesses are also the financial education, right? So you get a twofer. It's a
right.
twofer.
Because we don't want to help you grow your money or help you earn money without helping you grow it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
that's what we're doing, and I'm fully transparent with my followers, subscribers, customers. Like I'll tell you what I'm doing. I have no problem doing that. You can make an informed decision after I tell you. Like there are no secrets here. This is not, I'm not coveting this little thing off in the
Right.
corner.
That's
Like
funny.
it's too much money to be made. Why
Yeah.
covet everything?
We're not stingy with our
Right.
information. Now, it doesn't mean that we can show you everything that we learn in 8 hours on the platform every week. No, you got to be on the platform to get that information.
Right.
Right. But, we get like security is a thing. So we always want to make sure if you are interested in cryptocurrency and growing your money inside of this absolutely amazing industry, that no matter what, we just get you set up to make sure you've got your money secure, because you really are your own bank inside of crypto. I mean, this is why the banks are not super happy with cryptocurrency. They're starting to come around because they don't have a choice, but not because they're happy about it, because people are getting more savvy.
Exactly.
They're figuring out that they don't have to let the bank hold their money and use it to make the bank millions of dollars while they pay you a paltry less than 1% on it. Right.
Right.
And people are just getting more people are debanking through cryptocurrency. I hardly have any money in my bank.
Right.
I don't keep it there.
Quick transactions. Like I keep a certain amount in there because I have a debit card attached, and it's quick transactions. And the other account that I have is specifically for things that are auto pay, like car insurance and things like that. It's auto pay. Go right in there.
Yep.
Right.
You stick your chunk of money in there for the month, and then
Yep.
But as far as like leaving a huge amount of savings and stuff in there, no.
Nah. And auto pay is convenient because I forget. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions about getting involved in cryptocurrency, don't be afraid to ask us. We're pretty knowledgeable, and chances are if you have a question that we can't answer, we can find somebody within our organization that can get the answer for you as well. So please, please, please don't be afraid to ask questions, but do your research, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that everybody that is associated with us is, successful. If you're watching us and we don't know you, we're best friends now. Okay.
Right, exactly.
And we want you to be successful. It's more than enough money inside of all of the spaces that we're in. Everything that we do, there's more than enough money in each of these things for us to be able to share the information so other people can win as well. Okay.
That's one of my favorite things. We can all win. We can all win. Trading
Right.
too. The whole team can win. We're trying to win together. It's not a competitive thing.
Yep. But that is it for today. So do us a favor, right? If you guys haven't done this yet, please do this. Like one of the resources that we use, that's what, $7, that gives you way more than $7 worth of value, is at thepipsisters.com/GBI. And make sure it's lowercase though, because the internet is weird. But I'm still curious. Like I got a little bit of feedback from a couple people that did the challenge. It's a 15-day challenge. We want some feedback from you guys to see how it worked for you and how you've been able to implement some of the things from the 15-day challenge into your business to watch your business grow. So don't forget that this is something else that we have to help you guys outside of just these podcasts and the stuff that we promote on social media. Okay?
I'm gonna go do it right now. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.